This is an example of a situation where you might be writing a policy for a client who we are assuming is day one coverage, regular final expense, or say a 20-year pay. And when we're discussing it with them and we're going through the application, they come up with a medication that sometimes could be modified, or it might be something like an irregular heartbeat that may not be modified, but it's called a dual use medication. So I'm going to show you an example of one of those medications. In the e-application, you can click on the top right, the three little lines, and click on medications, and it will take you to a screen where you can check specific medications if my computer wants to go there. Okay, here we go. So this example is for a medication called carvedilol, which you'll see is a dual use. That means it could be modified for something like heart disease, but it also could be used for something that's not considered a modified medicate or condition like an irregular heartbeat. And you'll notice it says call home office for details. What you'll want to do is go back to the application. So click back on the three lines, click on your eApp Life main screen, and go back to the application that you're working on. I have myself as an example. You click on there, go back to the policy, and this is a situation where the client says, I do not have heart disease, I've got like an irregular heartbeat, something that's not modified, but we're probably going to need to get a note from the doctor stating that they do not have heart disease. It's for something like an irregular heartbeat. So we're looking at, in this example, a $10,000 face amount policy with 8 units of AD&D, which sets a monthly premium of $62.60. So then we call in the policy as a final expense policy, and then during the verification, they tell us that they're on a medication that could be considered a modified policy. If it's a situation where we can get a note from the doctor to have it reviewed further during underwriting, and then the policy could then not be modified but be written back as final expense, what we want to do is go ahead and copy and know the monthly premium, which is $62.60, but we're going to start the policy and send it in as a modified, but we want to hope that the letter comes back and raises it back to a final expense policy for $10,000. You'll notice obviously a modified monthly payment is much higher. So what we can do is click on the button for yes next to would you like to specify the monthly premium. We click on yes, and then it gives us the option to type in a premium amount, which is that $62.60. What it's going to do on a modified plan is lower the face amount. So when I click out of there, it's going to adjust itself. Give it just a moment here. And it lowers the face amount to $5,369. But we're keeping the monthly premium as $62.60. So then we will have the client get that note from the doctor, have them fax it or email it over to our underwriting department at Lincoln Heritage. And then let's say they review it and they say, okay, she or he does not have heart disease, and they go ahead and approve it as a final expense policy. They will go ahead and revert it back to a final expense policy, and you'll notice that the face amount goes right back to $10,000. So this is a way you can handle working with a client and there's a modification or a medication that is questionable whether it's modified or not. They're telling us they do not have a modified condition and we need to get a note from the doctor, but we want to keep the monthly premium so that when it is approved, if it is approved back to final expense, it gets the face amount right back to where we were working.